How's it going, gamers? Chongo here, and today I've got a gameplay commentary for you guys. The gameplay is of Assassin's Creed 4 on the PC, and today's commentary topic is about the recent news that Steam hit its highest amount of users it's ever had online, and that was 7 million, so let's get into it. So first off, this is awesome for Steam to hit this many users. I mean, it's up from 1 million that it got last year in the same time, and it happened on December 1st, and the main reason people think that this is the case, that it's hit so many users, is because of the autumn sale, which I tend to agree with, because there's a lot of people who may not use Steam all the time, but just log in for the sales to see, you know, what's good and what's not, and what they can obviously purchase for a cheap price. But obviously this is still good that it's going up and not going down, or, you know, just being the same compared to last year, so obviously means that PC gaming is still on the rise and people are still, you know, interested in sales that Steam likes to put on. And I also think with things like the Steam machines coming out next year, I think we're going to see a lot more PC users, so I wouldn't be surprised if once all these Steam machines launch at some point next year, I'm not exactly sure when, if the Steam users went up even more, or during the next sale it went up by, you know, another million or something like that. Now, Celtic Man on DRun sent me another link to an article on a Steam machine, and since the Steam machine is pretty much a PC, I thought that, you know, it would be interesting to talk about this new one that's been announced. Now, it's made by iBuyPower, and they're making an AMD based system for $499. Now, this is a really awesome price for them to hit with a Steam machine, because when it was first announced, everyone knew there was going to be, you know, really expensive Steam machines and really cheap Steam machines, but it wasn't, you know, there wasn't really one announced yet that was kind of mid-range, and something that could really just be slightly better than next-gen consoles, but still, you know, a cheap alternative. Because I mean, when you go to buy a gaming PC, you're spending a lot of money, and I mean, if they want to try and compete with consoles, they're going to have to make their price point pretty much where it is right now. $499 I think is a really good price point for something like this. So it's the same price as an Xbox One in America. I'm not sure about how their prices are going to go worldwide or anything like that. Obviously we'll have to wait and see, but it says it can run games at 1080p resolution at 60 frames per second. So it's awesome for them to make a Steam machine that is able to hit this, because this means that obviously next-gen consoles are going to have to step up how they're making games, considering Dead Rising 3 is only running at 720p and at 30 frames a second on the Xbox One, and yet that system costs the exact same thing as this new iBuyPower Steam machine that can do obviously better than that. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see, you know, all these Steam machines come out and whether people are going to pick them up because they know that, you know, it's got a better resolution, it runs better, all that kind of stuff. Because I mean, I think we're kind of hitting that point where more people are starting to realize that, you know, last generation of hardware was quite dated. And I mean, the new generation, yeah, it looks good, but it's still not, you know, mid-range yet at this point. It's still, I would say, probably slightly below mid-range at this point, which is still fine for a console, but once console gamers can see, you know, something that does a lot better and it's the same price and it's the same, you know, ease of use, I think some console gamers might choose to pick up a Steam machine. So I think next year when the Steam machines start to be released, we're going to see more and more people using Steam through their Steam machines, and obviously that's going to be really good for Steam to see, you know, more sales and all that kind of stuff. And if, you know, more developers start to see more people are on Steam and their user numbers are going up, they may see PC as more of a platform and may, you know, make their games better ports and all that kind of thing, because that's obviously going to improve the performance over a whole, you know, vast majority of machines, as opposed to, you know, just doing a crappy port on PC that no one really likes. And I also think that if the Steam machines do launch quite well and their sales go well, and like I said before, if the Steam numbers go up for how many users there are, I think Microsoft and Sony are going to start to worry, you know, they're going to have to try and do some new ways to try and keep people with their systems, considering you can buy a Steam machine for the same price that basically plays games better. And I definitely think you might see some people who have maybe been avoiding PC gaming because they think it's too complicated or, you know, too much money, are going to pick up this. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a large majority of people who have a console and then they get this, because I mean, at the moment, as I've said before in previous videos, I don't think I'm going to get a Steam machine, mainly because I've already got my PC. I wouldn't really see a use to have another, you know, machine like that in my house, especially in my living room. I'd much rather game on my monitor. So that's just my opinion, but I do think you're going to see a lot of people who prefer using their living room, and they will go and buy this or a cheaper version of this just to play all their PC games on that they have, or to, you know, start PC gaming in a cheap way. Anyway, this brings me to my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, and if you've got any comments, put them down below, and if you want to join the Gamerhood, just subscribe. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.